What do you gain and what do you lose leaving California for Nevada? So everyone's always talking about Californians moving to Nevada, but here's the real question. What are you actually trading when you swap states and you come live in Northern Nevada? Because it's not just about inexpensive housing or no state income tax. It's more about lifestyle and identity and what kind of future do you want to build when you decide to make that change. The key is to understanding what the trade-offs are, and that's what we're going to talk about today. As always, I want to introduce Sydney. She is the one that most of you guys are hopping in the car with, driving around and seeing homes with, and talking to you honestly probably more than even I am. Let's start off with the lifestyle here in Northern Nevada versus what people are seeing in California. And when you're finally getting to meet these people in person, what are kind of some of the things we're talking about, some of the questions they're asking, and the differences in the lifestyle?
The Southern Californians typically have the biggest adjustment to make. They live closer to the beach. The cities are typically a lot bigger, more densely populated. And when they come to Northern Nevada for the first time, they don't really realize how big land mass-wise we are.
Spread out, yeah.
Yes. And we also have a ton of outdoor recreation. So you're living in a city where you have insane access to hiking, biking, any outdoor thing you can think of. Whereas in California, some of the time it's either difficult to access, crowded, expensive, and sometimes not even worth the hassle.
There's lots of great mountain and skiing and those things all over California. But in Nevada, it is a little less expensive. It's a little more accessible. And our commute times and things to be able to do some of these things aren't quite as busy. Now, we also don't have quite the big name celebrities. We don't have pro sports. There's certain things that you're giving up. It is definitely more of a small town feel, especially if you're coming from a big city in California. But again, when we get Central Californians, where our prices are very similar to those, we've had a few people from Fresno, Lancaster, those kind of things, versus Bay Area, Sacramento people, it's a little bit of a different vibe. But again, the vibe, the energy, the way things happen here in Nevada is not the same as what happens in California.
Right. We're a lot more slow moving, I think, than people realize. For even as much as Reno has grown, we still carry that small town feel because we lack professional sports. But I mean, we have the Aces, we have the college, we have a lot going on. It's just a smaller scale.
Right. And again, it's not that hard to get back to California if people are looking to do those things. So let's go into the financial shift. And it is a huge reason why many people come here, whether it's the tax benefits where they're not having to pay income tax anymore, whether it is the fact that they can sell a property for a lot of money and buy something less expensively here. What are some of those conversations that you're having with clients even before they get here, but as once they're here as well?
We run the gambit a little bit because we will have like the people from Central California where the prices are pretty similar to here. It's not too much of a difference for them. They're just basically trying to figure out, where can I afford? I don't really care where it is, but just show me the areas. And then we'll get the opposite where we have higher end California buyers who are coming in with cash or 1031 exchanges that are looking in the higher priced areas, or they just don't really care. And they're like, this is my budget. If we see a house within whatever, it might be a big price point, but they say, whatever it may be, we just like want to love the house. We want to love the area and we want to love the neighborhood.
And it seems like we're getting a lot of those that want to spend between, let's say 1.2 and 1.8 million looking for 55 and over. People think of that price point as luxury. We're going to talk about this in some other videos here soon. But again, what you get in those price points is a lot of Toll Brothers. And you can go way more expensive if you want to, but it is definitely a different dynamic for people that are going from what is an average price in our area, say in the mid 600s, versus ones that are coming here cash, looking for much bigger, selling a house for $4 or $5 million in California, coming here and writing a check and then putting a bunch of money in the bank. So it just gives them a lot more flexibility. It gives them a lot more wiggle room. And as we all know, it's very expensive to live in California, especially if you're on retirement. The one other thing that is not really brought up, but I know we get a lot of questions about healthcare, which could be an expensive thing. And Kaiser, which has been a big health plan in California for years, is starting to come here. We'll find out more information for you guys as that starts to happen. But I think a lot of people in some ways, and I know my dad was this way for many years, they're trapped in California for healthcare reasons. And I think now that's going to become less of an issue. It's going to start to happen here in Northern Nevada first before Southern. But we'll have more information about that because I know that's a question that people come up with that have been a problem for them. The third one, especially because we are much smaller, is the cultural entertainment, those kind of things where, again, we're just not going to attract the same level of celebrity or event here. But again, a lot of people who live here, it is easy access back to Vegas, LA, or the Bay Area to go and see and do whatever it is you want. What kind of conversations you have with that?
It's interesting. They actually really like how small it is here, where the concerts that we're having up in South Lake Tahoe, which is typically where we'll get the biggest name people because they have the biggest venue. We have it. We get big name comedians, but the venue is smaller comparatively to the California places. So it's almost you get like a more intimate show out of it.
Right.
And then we do have a lot of community events that are the air races. We have hot August nights. It's just more community focused than it would be like celebrity or big name focused. So we have enough culture and entertainment, but it's very different. So it's almost more of an adjustment of expectation than it is that we don't even have any entertainment.
Yeah, we have a quality event schedule that runs from early spring all the way through really the fall. If you're looking for professional sports, it's an hour flight to LA. It's an hour flight to Vegas. It's a 3 to 4 hour drive to the Bay Area, depending on time of year. And you can pretty much go see any team, no matter what part of the country you're from, because if East Coast teams eventually all come to the West Coast, it is not hard to get to those things if you're really one of those people that needs to feel like we've got that or have to have that. So it is definitely a different level, but it's easy to access all those things. And I think the pros of living in a smaller community outweigh, and that's why people come here versus saying, I'm going to stay for those reasons. Now, so if you're someone who's thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, do me a favor. Click the link in the description below. We'll get you a copy of our free buyer's guide that will help you start on your journey to Northern Nevada. Another one's very interesting, and depending on where they come from California that we talk about, is the weather. If you like weather like in San Diego, where it is basically almost the same 12 months a year, hard to beat that. Like, we're not going to be 75 degrees every day year round. But if you do like 4 seasons and you do like to be able to do outdoor things different times a year where you can be on the lake in your bathing suit, or you can also be at the lake and go skiing, I think that's why a lot of people move here as well.
It absolutely is. And they, a lot of the time, are looking for less snow. So we do have a precipitation table at about 5,000
Say
feet.
that 5 times.
Yeah, if I could speak English. So our snow line is at 5,000 feet. So if you live above 5,000 feet, you're going to get snow when we get to that point in the wintertime. If you live below it, there's less of a possibility, but still absolutely capable of snowing in the valley floor. We have a lot of sunshine though, and I think people forget about that even in the wintertime when we do get a lot of weather and we are having storms roll through, we still get sunshine at some point. We don't have these weeks on end of just cloudy, terrible weather.
Well, people talk about here that the question we get a lot, because obviously from California, is about wildfire, smoke, wind, those kind of things. And honestly, we have a much better chance of being under a haze and clouds of smoke from fires from California than fires here. Over my 30 plus years of living here, I haven't seen that many times where wildfires actually start taking down houses. It has happened, but it's been relatively minimal. We're going to have more questions and more things about insurance on homes with fire damage and things on those lines, but it hasn't been a huge issue yet. We're going to find out more about that as time progresses, and we'll see what happens with the insurance industry as far as that goes. But for the most part, the weather, it just depends. If you want same old every day, we are not going to have that. And for some people, driving in the snow or having some winter conditions, it's going to be a little unique and a little different for them. So there are some trade-offs. There are some positives and negatives from moving. When you're talking with clients and interacting with them, I'm guessing they're coming because they're feeling the positives are far outweighing the negatives.
Yes, that is more often than not why people are coming here. Politics aside, people really like Northern Nevada. We are such a close-knit community, but big enough that you have the activity of elsewhere. And I think a lot of the time when they first come here, people adapt to it really quickly. We have a really welcoming culture. I feel that I've heard from a lot of the Californians that have moved here in the last couple of years that they always say how nice we are, which is strange to me that people are mean elsewhere, but it's always positive to hear about your own community that everyone's like, you guys are so nice.
And for the locals that might be checking out this video, they're coming. They're not going to stop coming.
Yeah.
I understand for people, and you're in this boat, for someone who's young, that has become more unaffordable, but I think that's happened literally everywhere on the West Coast. This is not just a Reno and Northern Nevada thing. And we'll see. I mean, how things become more affordable is we're going to need more things built and more job opportunities. And I hope some of that will come from California as well. And so if someone is really looking for information and really thinking about moving here, how is the best way for them to start this process in interacting with us?
Well, first off, watching more of the YouTube videos, if you guys haven't already, that is super important. And a lot of the time how people get the majority of their information before they call us, checking out our website, doing your research, calling us. Our website has our contact information, so please reach out to us directly. We're always available to answer your questions. And starting the process early. We've done this before, and now I'm getting people that sometimes are 3 years out. That's a little early and premature, but you can never start too early.
And when we talk to them about, is it better, is it worse? It depends on the person. You got to figure out if it's better or worse for you as an individual, and not, for some people, it doesn't make sense to come here. And for others, It does. And so we basically want to make sure we're providing all that information. It's the point of why we do all these videos, is to get you the information you need. So don't be afraid to reach out to us and have that initial conversation. And like you said, check out more of the videos and stuff like that. And so we realize that we never want people to not understand that we know how big a decision this is, because for most people, if you decide to leave California, especially if you don't own a home there and you want to get in the home ownership, business, then for some people, it's almost you can't go back.
Right.
So we realize that it is a big deal, and we want people to feel comfortable asking us the questions. So if you have questions, you're concerned, want to know what's going on, reach out to us. We're easy to find. Follow the channel. We're on all the social media sites, and all our contact information is always down below, so we're easy to find. So hopefully that's helpful for you. So if you're someone who's thinking about moving here from California, check out this video we did right here about how the California influences is helping reshape Northern Nevada.